You might be asking yourself, what's with this lady and the little maps today? Well, I got another revelation. Yes, my darlings. Another angle was revealed to me. This, as you remember from earlier today, and this video here about an abusive daycare when I was 5 or 6 years old and younger. I think the cutting off point there would be 6 years or so for the daycares, because I started first grade somewhere through there. And I know at the Gilkins one, I went to kindergarten the first part of the day. But here's the thing. All right, this map, we're showing the foot. Now, if it were a car, this is the route I took when I was a kid, when I ran off from. What was that? Anyhow, I'm back again. My little route from this daycare, it says 21 minutes by foot. Okay, I can't click that as a map right now because I don't have an interactive YouTube. Wish I did, but I don't. Okay. This other one, okay, was my route. No, that's not what I mean. Well, see, I didn't know the address exactly for the daycare, which was right across the street from the downtown house. But I did know the address of the downtown house. So I could video and show you what I meant by getting there and then doing street view and show you where I meant, to show you. Well, so it's from this daycare and this little area right across the street from us all the way home when I was, a kid, a little kid. Pre-kindergarten age at this one. Okay, this other one, I was kindergarten age and did this whole long 21 minutes. This one says 17, but I'm not sure about that. Who knows how they decided the length of time in between there. Maybe it was someone walking their dog. Maybe it was some little kid. Maybe it was an adult. Maybe it was the mailman. Each one of those would be going a different speed. So what might be 21 minutes for the mailman might be 35 minutes for someone walking their dog the same route. So I don't know about how long that took. But then I'll get back to what I was trying to get at before. All right, here's our same house here in downtown Sedalia, Missouri. And I'll scoot that over here. Okay, well, I scooted it a little bit, way too far. All right, this says 11 minutes to the Pettis County Sheriff's Department from our downtown house. All right, the Sedalia Community Center, and I think I forgot to put the Senior Center on here. Let me do that real quick. Okay, I got that added on here. From our house, whatever got, well, the tag, you see, that's for the Senior Center. If I wanted the tag up here, if I drag it, I don't know. There we go. There's our house. Okay? Or was. On the map, that's where it was. This is West 2nd. I wish it set it down this way. But it didn't. I can zoom a little and you can see it together. West 2nd was to the north of our house. Okay, our house was the only one on the block between 2nd and 3rd. Now these little blue dots are not houses. The little blue dots are foot trail. See here? I have it clicked. If I were to click car, of course that's going to alter just a little bit. I click it back to foot trail and I get the dots. But yeah, our house was the only one. And because this is 3rd and this is 2nd, I'm thinking this was alley. And it ran out of alley down there where I believe the lumber yard was. See, we had a lumber yard here, and then there was one a little ways up here. St. Patrick's Church was catty corner from our house. So you see, codename Nietzsche didn't even try. Because when we went to Whiteman, look here, that was 29 minutes one way, according to Google. It was about a 4-hour trip, and we'd stop at Lincoln, wherever that is through here. I guess I can show you on here where, I guess. Let me do that. Okay. We'd stop and gas up a lot of the times. We had two gas tanks on that van. And before 95, all this stuff in 95, I don't think John and I went to the thrift shop, but that became an added stop when I go up there. I like to go and look around at the thrift shop. And I'd pick up Bradley these little bags of just little fun toys. You know, they always had them stapled shut in the quarter bin. And I brought him all kinds of stuff home. Not just that, but that was one of the things I remember. And then just to be sure, I'd put him in this. I had a lot of lingerie bags because I used Woolite. And at that time, the premium when you bought liquid Woolite was a laundry bag that they had with the bottle of the soap. So, of course, I took one and I put his little toys in and just stick it in the dishwasher on the top rack normally and make sure those were good and clean for him. Not that anybody there's selling dirty toys or anything, but they get on the floor, they get rolled around, you know, they get kicked, they deserve washed every once in a while. So that was one of the things I do for him. But see here, well now this is showing a 48-minute trip from, oh that's the whole trip. Maybe so. Because I thought it was like 18 miles from Sedalia, like where that sign's at, just north of 65 highway on, no, just north of 50 highway on 65. There's a sign that says like 18 miles, I think, or 20. But anyway, this is showing a farther distance than what I know it is. But again, that's the map, not me. But do you get my point? At least a couple times a week, the best I remember. And when we shopped Godzilla and brought back so much stuff. Not only from the commissary, but from the BX. And it was not a small shopping trip. They were big shopping trips because I had John build shelves down in our basement there at the downtown house to stock a lot of this stuff on that we were constantly using. You know, we had our preps. Well, they're called preps now. Back then they were just called, you know, or stock up. But, you know, so we didn't ever not have food. Okay? Twice a week, at least. Codename Nietzsche had an opportunity. Okay? To go to any one of these places and make a report on her dad. And that's only if she didn't know how to use a telephone, which I'm sure she did. Because her grandma had a telephone in town. In fact, both of her grandmothers up in Iowa had telephones. So it wasn't that using a telephone was a foreign thing. This person has fooled a lot of people. That's fraud. She's going to play the dumb little bumpkin forever. She's got part of her family knowing her as clinically retarded, or at least that's what they say. And like I said before, maybe that's just a convenience. Besides that, when she was in foster care, don't clinically retarded kids, or special needs kids as they're called, fetch a bigger amount of money than regular, average, run-of-the-mill, everyday, have no problems at all kids? I'm sure they do. I'm not sure of the exact amount, and I'm not sure if it varies from state to state either. Okay? That's money she probably never saw anything of. And I know you like to think better of foster parents because you might have known some of them. But what do they really care? What did that social worker care, Denise? She never cared one thing. All she was worried about was getting money in her pockets. We're all knowing about that. She'll have to answer for that someday. To a higher court. Yeah. God'll be in charge of that higher court. Believe you me. Okay? Same as with some of the rest of them. They have done us dirty around here. Okay? Why couldn't she have made this small little trip? Okay? Keep in mind, this person made reports on me, but not on the so-called 2100-time rapist. Hello? Why do I have the impression that this stuff is just not sinking in? To anyone, anywhere. Reports on me that were not validated, or substantiated, I mean, but none on the so-called rapist, even when she had an excess of 4 hours to go like half a block to the church, or a block to the community center, or this whole big whop and walk here, huh? To the sheriff's department, or to pick up our landline, because yes, we had a landline. That might be foreign these days, but back then, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have Wi-Fi. I didn't have internet. But I had that landline, and I had my radio. So I wasn't cut off in the middle of downtown for frickin' Dahlia. Ugh. Yeah, this angers me because it's just so juvenile. Primary education. That when you've got a chance to go, if you need to go, you get it done. You go. I did it. And I'm not bragging. Got the wrong one open there. I did it from 2 daycares when I was under kindergarten age. Under first grade age. That one and that one. I ran off constantly. Plus another babysitter I remember, but She was over here closer, over here on Ninth. I think her name was Maddie, but she always had what she called cousins coming over. Her cousins. And Mom's like, yeah, all right, cousins. Those are her boyfriends. She just told you kids those are cousins. So she was a real floozy. A real flophouse floozy. So anyhow, three of them I ran off from, and I don't remember the address. I kind of remember the house, but I believe there were two of them. In the middle of it, I changed after Mom figured that out, what was going on, why I was running off because of so many cousins over there all the time. Once she called her cousins but weren't, get the drift. And then started going to that one named Maddie, who's who was so heavy chested she had to sew her own bras. And I remember she'd get sheets, white sheets, and she'd cut out these really big circles. And on her sewing machine, she'd sew spirals around and around and around, to connect the different layers. And she made her own padded bras. Because I guess she couldn't find them to fit. Or maybe she was, things like that were expensive, didn't have enough money to buy her own. So she made them. There's no crime in that. Okay, the crime right now is fraud. She, codename Nietzsche, had ample time, and time again, and time after that, to make a report on a so-called rapist, but did not do so.